All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we're talking about the massive explosion that's happening in the Web 3.0 space and what you need to know about that. Okay, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the crypto markets today, answer some of your questions, and a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right. Last but not least, nothing I'm saying in this video is designed to be financial advice, and there's lots of scammers down in the comment section below. Just ignore them, like I'll never give you my phone number or ask you to invest with me. All right, there we go. Got my camera just out water here. All right, so we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Automatic Beats, Bruno, Code Chap, David Stone. Let's see here. Oleg, Dream, Lee, MCA, Grant, Ben, Independence. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's talk about the big explosion that's happening in the Web3 space and why you have to understand this trend and the trajectory that it's on, okay? Because this is pretty critical if you're trying to understand, what is happening in the crypto space and also how you can communicate this to other people who are on the outside who want to understand what crypto is about, what Web 3.0 is, because there's some pretty critical reframing of this idea that can help other people understand it for mass adoption. Okay, so let me just explain what I mean by that if that seems vague. So I want to pull this graph that's been circulating around on Twitter right here. So this is a chart that's saying that crypto is where the internet was in 1998. All right, so a lot of people watching this video may not even remember 1998. It's kind of crazy for me to think about, but it's just true. So let's just kind of go back and think about what was happening in 1998. So you had, email. You had websites. We had America Online. That was a huge player in the game, all that type of stuff. But pretty quickly after that, we were going into that, in .com boom era, all this kind of crazy stuff, right? The boom and bust cycle. And that's when, the internet started spreading like wildfire, all right? You started seeing like movies about the internet. It started really become up in popular culture. Well, crypto is just kind of getting there right now. Hasn't fully reached that level of adoption yet, but that's where crypto is right now, based on the total number of users who use the internet in 1998 and the total number of users who use crypto today. Okay, so I see some stuff in the chat about Windows 95. Yes, I definitely remember Windows 95. So here's the important thing, though, that's not listed on this chart, is where crypto is headed and how fast it can get to the next level. So you might look at this and say, all right, so crypto is where internet was in 1998, and it's going to take us 4 years to get to 2002, or 2 years to get to the year 2000, or however long to get to the .com bubble burst. Well, that's not the right line of thinking, because that assumes like a one-to-one relationship and we're moving the same rate, but that's not true. Crypto's actually growing at twice as fast a rate as the internet was in terms of number of users. So this is actually a quote from Raoul Pal, who I've talked about a lot in this channel. He's been a great thinker in this space to help understand, where this whole thing is headed, but he has quite a lot of research under his belt too. And he's saying, I've got a chart of adoption of the internet, and crypto matches it beautifully, as we just saw a second ago, except the internet was growing 63% a year when it had 150 million users, which is where crypto is now. So that's, roughly kind of what he's talking about here. So it was growing at 63% a year, crypto growing at 113% a year. So basically twice as fast. And so this is double the adoption rate of the fastest adoption. This is the fastest adoption of technology in all recorded history. So crypto is just rocketing off to the moon, all right? So there's lots of reasons why this is the case. I'm going to talk about some more of those here in a minute. One of the biggest reasons is just giving people to use crypto in the first place. I mean, the ability to make gains is a powerful incentive. If you talk about the core reasons why people do anything, it sort of falls into the greed quadrant. All right, I don't always like calling it greed, because I don't think all desire for financial gain is fundamentally bad, right? But if you think about it in really, rough economic terms, that's what it is. So another important thing here to understand is it's not just crypto, but it's Web 3.0, right? It's not just about cryptocurrency assets. We're also seeing NFTs. We're also seeing a new version of the internet, and a metaverse, all these types of things. And I saw this take that I thought was pretty good, which is I feel like the slow rebranding of crypto to Web 3.0 is allowing people who had been anti-crypto to capitulate in an honorable way. So I thought this is actually a pretty solid perspective, because think about how many people you might have been this person. I was never this person, but who look at cryptocurrency and goes, oh, it's just a scam. It's like instant dismissal of the idea. And then they just, every time it comes up, they double down. They don't change their mind. They're stubborn. They're judgmental, closed-minded, all that type of stuff. So people who have that tendency, they want to save face and they don't want to look like an idiot when they were wrong. And so if you can broaden this to, hey, this is Web 3.0 and crypto is just a part of that whole thing, then that sort of makes it easier for them to oh, okay, all right. But it's not just that. It's also painting a bigger vision, because some people are like, why do we need more money? Why do we need a different money? The money we have works just fine. But if you can see reasons why we need a new internet or new aspects of a new internet, then people can kind of get on board with that. So I thought this is a pretty solid take, talking about reframing it towards Web 3.0. And, another thing that I think is pretty big for that beyond just crypto is NFTs and how they could actually be bigger than crypto currencies themselves. So we saw this take come out too that Coinbase, the NFT business could be bigger than the crypto business. So if you're talking about the services that Coinbase offers, buying and selling of cryptocurrencies on an exchange, we talked about Coinbase, launching an NFT platform as a competitor with OpenSea. That there's some speculation that the volume of traded NFTs could be bigger than cryptocurrencies themselves. All right. So I think this is consistent with a couple of different things that I'm seeing out there. One of those is, whenever I talk to normal people, I just call them normies. I mean, people basically who have no past experience with crypto, who I maybe interact with just in my personal life, who don't really know much about what I do, or they might know, but they don't know much about blockchain, right? And they start to inevitably talk about blockchain. NFTs come up in almost every conversation, and decentralized finance or DeFi, a fraction of the amount of times that NFTs come up. Okay, so quote unquote normies are way more captivated by NFTs. There's lots of reasons why you could say that that's the case, but my anecdotal experience, at least, is that is true. So that's consistent with the speculation about the Coinbase NFT volume here. But let's think about some other things. What if NFTs go beyond just artwork, collectibles, memberships, all that type of stuff, to where we actually are digitizing lots of things as NFTs. Real estate, insurance, all this stuff, intellectual property rights for music, whatever. What if you could just get on Coinbase and buy that stuff? What if you get on Coinbase and buy a house? What if you get on Coinbase and buy, the rights to the Beatles music publishing, right? What if you do all this stuff? And, taking that conclusion next further, what if you could do this in a decentralized way with smart contracts? What if you could just download an Ethereum wallet, and then now you're the property, you're the intellectual property rights holder of a bunch of Rolling Stones, recordings or something like that, or the songs at least that are behind this recording. So there's lots of ways in which we have just begun to scratch the surface of what's possible with NFTs, and that's another big component of Web 3.0. And circling back around, that's why Web 3.0 is another big blanket of things that we can talk about rather than just cryptocurrencies themselves, because it's not just cryptocurrencies. We have NFTs, we have metaverse, we have things you can do with a censorship-resistant web, permissionless, trustless web that isn't just about cryptocurrencies themselves, and it helps other people see the importance of that and how they can bring it in. And that's another reason why we can grow twice as fast as the rate that we are, as the internet was, at the same number of users, about 150 million users, which correlates to about 1998 in the internet's adoption cycle. But that means we can be at the year 2000 at half the time And if we continue to increase and accelerate that rate, we could be, into the Web 2.0 era in a matter of a couple of years. All right, so let's look at a couple other things here. Speaking of, with the Coinbase NFT thing, we talked about how that could be a big impetus for something like OpenSea doing an airdrop. We've been talking a lot on this channel this week and last week about the ENS airdrop, Ethereum name service. Lots of people watching these live streams, made like $10,000 off of that airdrop just for having used these decentralized applications. I mean, I made videos about ENS in the past. I've done videos on the blockchain mastery program on how to use it. So if you followed any of that stuff and just followed through and just set up your name, like you could have gotten one of those. Now, unfortunately, it's too late to do that, but I am releasing a video on Friday that will talk about how to position yourself for, other airdrops like that in the future. And one really no guarantee, but one possible person to do that type of thing would be like OpenSea, the NFT platform. Because about these airdrops, sometimes they have one of the benefits of them is that they can help retain a community because people are highly affected by an airdrop and what a platform did for them when they just give them money like that. So, it retain users, but also help with competition, okay? Because Coinbase NFT platform is definitely something that's going to catch a lot of people's attention if and when it goes live. And, people like OpenSea are going to have to do something in response to that. And that's one of the reasons that we could see, see an OpenSea token. And carrying that idea on even further, I don't think these are the last of the major airdrops we're going to see. And how these incentives can be really good for bootstrapping networks in the first place. And I did see this take comp yesterday, which I thought was pretty good and wanted to, pull up and go over here. It's from Scott Lewis over on Twitter. Now I follow each other. So basically, he's saying all open public rollups need to release tokens as soon as it is feasible. It's fun and good to see if unsubsidized rollups can compete with heavily subsidized adoption programs from other layer 1s, but once the subsidies create moats, it may be too late. So let's kind of deconstruct this a little bit, unpack it, talk about the content of what's said here, because I think it's pretty important point of view. So, one of the biggest complaints about the Ethereum ecosystem is that, Ethereum itself is too slow and too expensive for most people to use. Most people are just priced out of, swapping on Uniswap. Some people didn't even want to have the ETH to cover ENS claiming for their airdrop, all that type of stuff, and swap out of it. But there's a solution to that, right? We don't have to wait for Ethereum 2.0 to ship now. Ethereum 2.0 is not going to fix that problem. That's what layer 2 scaling solutions are for, okay? And so this is basically where you build a second, environment on top of the Ethereum platform to offload some of those transactions, but you get the benefit of Ethereum's decentralization and security whenever you do this, okay? So, what he's talking about here is basically these layer 2's examples are Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, and others, right? These are general purpose rollups where developers can, just build whatever application they want to on them. There's application specific ones the Loop Ring one, the DYDX one, lots of others. You can see them here on the site, l2p.com. But what he's saying is for these general purpose ones, the incentives for using these by airdropping tokens is really powerful, and that if these L2s basically want to secure a lead here, that these airdrops can really help them do that, and that they should do it soon, basically. So I think it's a pretty good take. So if you want to position yourself for those types of airdrops too, basically it's just about using it, getting onto these layer 2s and then just interacting with projects. That's how you get ahead for those types of things. No guarantee it's going to happen, no guarantee of financial gain, but this is how you increase the likelihood of that. And he's saying also this can help create moats against other ecosystems, because you see this across a lot of other EVM compatible chains. It's hey, we've got liquidity mining incentives, we got airdrops, we got all this stuff. And if, like, instead of layer twos just saying, oh, here we are, we don't need airdrop tokens, like, well, that could, hamper your adoption a little bit. So I thought that was good view. So regardless, though, we are seeing good L2 adoption. We're seeing the total value locked. It's increased. We're at 5.13 billion. Now, of course, some of this is going to be a function of cryptocurrency prices going up. TVL is total value locked, so it's the value of the cryptocurrencies that are on the platforms themselves. Crypto prices are going up, so this is naturally going to go up. But I don't think it's just about crypto prices going up. I think we're also seeing increased adoption. So, speaking of which, let's go ahead and check out the crypto markets here. Okay, so let's pull it up here. Okay, so Bitcoin in particular looks like it has broken a new all-time high. All right, so let's go ahead and check on the price here. I believe it crossed $69,000. Yeah, we just peaked up over $69,000. Yeah, that's like the past 2 hours, $69,044. So we keep printing new all-time highs like every other day for a while now, which is getting pretty bullish. Now, that being said, I did put out a tweet on my Twitter yesterday talking about the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index being at extreme greed. All right. So basically, this tracks social sentiment for Bitcoin. And, the extreme greed territory is get to be like off the charts. And typically, whenever we are in extreme greed, something bad usually happens, at least in the short term, some sort of price correction that makes people freak out, think it's a dip, and, that it's game over. That being said, we can stay in extreme greed for a while before this happens, but it would not surprise me if we did see some sort of hiccup, I'll put it that way, relatively soon in the grand scheme of things. I mean, who knows? We could just rocket off to a really, really high price level, but I would say, like, if the Bitcoin price just like doubled from here, we'd see a pretty big correction shortly after. I'm not saying that necessarily that would be the big one, but it wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin went up to, let's say $130,000, $140,000, that I could very easily see another 50% correction like we saw back in May, because that's not super sustainable growth for at Bitcoin at this market cap level. So Ethereum price, I believe we've seen an all-time high within the past 24 hours. Sorry, I don't watch it that closely. Let's just check here. Its all-time high was 2 hours ago, $4,878. So ETH is looking strong as well. Looks like we're on the road to 5K. Pretty close. That's a huge milestone for Ether. Somebody's saying all-time high is live now. Let's just pull it up. So see, our all-time high number is, let's see here, 4,878. So let's see what we have on the yeah, we're getting close. Let's see if we can push it up. It's like the little engine that could. It's like, come on, little ETH that could. So we're not quite at the all-time high. This is like our all-time high level here. So if we can cross past this line, we'll see if we can hit the all-time high in stream. We'll come back and check out here in a minute. I won't spend all day sitting here and watch this candle form. That's going to be kind of annoying. I hate watching charts. Okay, so another reason I think that we are one thing that is, in the very least, not hurting crypto prices right now is, we're definitely seeing buzz about inflation numbers happening right now. So, the official U.S. inflation numbers for October just came in at 6.2%. The economy, so basically, I won't get into all the editorial commentary here, but I haven't fact checked the total statistics here, but let's just say this is even close to true. Like, this is going to send, ripple shockwaves through people's, just through the interwebs. And it's not going to be bad for Bitcoin, I'll put it that way. And it's likely a factor in why we're seeing, Bitcoin become bullish or continue to be bullish right now. I mean, I think the narrative for Bitcoin as an inflation hedge is still pretty powerful. I saw a tweet the other day talking about somebody who's investing in real estate. And they're like, I bought I can't remember exactly who it was, but they're saying, I bought a property for it was like a couple $100,000 in whatever year it was. Let's say it's 2018, 2016, whatever, I don't know. And it's worth $400,000 now. So it's like, awesome. That's a double amount of value. But it's like, if you think about it in terms of Bitcoin, like it would cost like 48 Bitcoin or something like that back in the day. And now it's worth like, 2 or 3 or 4 Bitcoin, whatever it is, right? So if you use Bitcoin as unit account, then that's an important way to think about things. So now we're also seeing, in the political arena in terms of inflation, Biden says preserving increase inflation is a top priority. Is this the meme account? Let me just see. Okay. Hold on a second. Sometimes people like put this profile picture in there and they just like fake the account. And I'm always like, oh shoot, is this the right person? So, but it does look like it's the right account. So Biden says reversing increasing inflation is a top priority. So we'll see what his plan to do that is. Somebody says, was my official Twitter, got DM'd by you, then blocked because I figured so I basically don't DM people on social media. So, like, I don't really respond to YouTube comments either. So, like, if you're getting DMs from me by somebody on YouTube, any social media platform, that's not me. So, like, I'm never going to ask you for money. I'm never going to try to get you to join a special Telegram group or anything like that. Like, any like official stuff, like it's either going to come from, this video right here, or if you get like, if you're on the email list and you get an official email from me, or of course, if you're inside the mastery program and if you're in that, then you already know that it's real. So I put my Twitter in the, live chat replay there. I do have Twitter. No, I do have Twitter. I just put it in the, I just put in the live chat replay. So this is it. I just pasted the link in your, in the live chat replay. Should I buy an ENS name when the gas fee is low? How can we set an alert from somewhere to send us notification when the gas fee is low? Yeah, there are definitely apps that let you alert it when the gas fee is low. However, I don't know if you're trying to buy the ENS name or try to get ENS tokens. So you had to have bought the ENS name prior to October 31st, I believe, in order to be eligible for the airdrop. So I don't know if that's the reason you're asking. But if you just want an ENS name, then you can still do that. So I'm really interested in blockchain development. Is there a market for that? Oh yes, definitely. So the opportunity for blockchain developers is absolutely insane. It's one of the craziest developer markets that's probably ever existed on the face of the earth. Um, the early internet was pretty insane for developers too. I think this is crazier for lots of reasons. The financial incentives involved. Of course, the early internet had a lot of financial upside. I think the upside for crypto is bigger for lots of reasons. There's more wealth in the world today than there was at that point in time. There's more ways that we can integrate with technology into more things. More people are using technology. Yeah, there's lots of reasons why I think this market's even hotter than the internet. I mean, it's growing twice as fast as the internet was. That means the demand is higher. Yeah, one of the craziest markets for developers that's ever existed on the face of the earth. And the good news is you don't have to be an advanced coder to take advantage of this opportunity. Like, I've helped people that didn't have any coding experience become blockchain developers and get like real jobs. You don't have to have a fancy degree either. But it says when Web 4. I want to see Web 3 get more adoption first. How many projects do you recommend building before applying for a blockchain job? Just one, but just build it on your own, and try to make it as advanced as possible and showcase it. That's when you need to start applying. You may not get a job initially, like right away, but you're going to learn pretty fast, like whether you're at that level or not. So that's what I would say. Somebody says, would this help you if you just want to invest in cryptocurrency? So if you're talking about blockchain development, there's a couple answers to that question. One is if you understand the technology itself, like from a programmer's perspective, you're going to have a crazy advantage in understanding like what's legit and what's not in the crypto space. Doesn't mean you're just going to be able to, be an expert in picking the winning investments all the time, but it's going to really help you weed out a lot of bad ideas. Because you know what's possible and what's not possible. Now, and the key to long-term success, especially in this space, is just surviving. It's like not getting into something that's going to go to zero. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is almost every really good investor that I know that's very successful has had good cash flow. And so like blockchain is, one of the best ways to do that is to get really good cash flow. And then you can use that for lots of things. You can either buy more crypto, you can use it to live off of so you don't have to cash out of any of your crypto investments. There's lots of things. What aspects of the ecosystem do we see as most underserved? That's a good question. I don't know if you mean in terms of like projects that need to get built in the space, or if you mean like what human talent can do to get hired. I had to think about that one. Prediction for Ethereum at the end of 2021. I don't have a prediction. I don't try to call short-term stuff. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. And if you're as fast at this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, actually become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.